And we cannot make a projection right now in the Commonwealth of Virginia. The race, Ken Cuccinelli, the Republican, the Democrat, Terry McAuliffe, and the independent third-party candidate, Robert Sarvis. As we wait, though, for real results to come in to help us make a projection, we want to share what our early exit polls are revealing. Remember, these are estimates. They're based on interviews with a sampling of voters in Virginia as they left select polling stations. Here are the exit poll results. And let's take a look. The Democrat, Terry McAuliffe, with 50%. The Republican, Ken Cuccinelli, with 43%. Rob Sarvis, the independent third-party Libertarian candidate, with 7%. These are the exit poll results. Remember, they are estimates. The final outcome could be different. We want to let you know we use these exit polls to make projections only in non-competitive races. We're going to share more exit poll data like this throughout the night, but we want to be fully transparent with all of you so you get the same accurate information that we have and hear it directly from us. Let's check in the votes, the actual tally right now of what's going on. There you see 5% of the votes in Virginia have actually been counted. Ken Cuccinelli actually ahead by 12,000 votes or so, 52% to 39% for Terry McAuliffe. Robert Sarvis, the third-party Libertarian candidate, with 9%. But only 5% of the votes are in. We don't know where these precincts are. Very, very early in the actual balloting of this race. Critically important race in Virginia. We'll see if the Democrats can gain the gubernatorial seat. And the answer is yes. Christie, we project, will be reelected as the governor of New Jersey for another 4 years, beating Barbara Buono. Based on the exit poll results, other information we're getting, Christie easily moves forward and gets a second term. We're watching a number of other races tonight that could have a big impact on national politics and the 2016 presidential race. In Virginia, it's still too early to call the governor's race. The top contenders are the Democrat, Terry McAuliffe, and the Republican, Ken Cuccinelli. That purple state is an important presidential battleground. Now, let's take a look at actual votes coming in from New Jersey right now. 17% of the vote is now in Virginia. 17% of the vote is in. You see Ken Cuccinelli actually ahead with 18% of the vote counted, 53% to 40%. Robert Sarvis, the third-party Libertarian candidate, with 7%. Those are actual votes that have already been tallied. Also on the line tonight, the mayor's office in New York City. A Democrat could win it for the first time in 2 decades, succeeding the independent mayor Michael Bloomberg. Polls close in New York, by the way, at the top of the hour. There's also a Republican congressional primary runoff in Alabama we're following. It will be a test of the Tea Party's clout versus the GOP establishment. We're watching that race closely, and we're also watching ballot initiatives out west, including a proposed marijuana tax in Colorado and an effort by Colorado residents to secede from the state. In Virginia right now, let's take another closer look at the actual votes. You see Ken Cuccinelli actually ahead with 53% to 40% for Terry McAuliffe. Robert Sarvis, the third-party candidate, with 7%. Now it just changed. 20% of the vote is now in, and you see Ken Cuccinelli still ahead, 51 to 42%. Sarvis remaining the Libertarian candidate with 7% in there. So once again, we have not been able to make a projection in Virginia. Clearly a close race shaping up. We're going to watch it every step of the way. Lots at stake in Virginia, top of the hour, New York City. We've just projected a winner in New Jersey. Christie reelected to a second term. Anderson, but let me show you the actual votes that have now been tallied, have actually been counted. 29% of the vote is now in, and Ken Cuccinelli is ahead by more than 56,000 votes with 51%. To Terry McAuliffe's 42%, 30% of the vote is now in, 51 to 42, still 58,000 plus ahead for Ken Cuccinelli over Terry McAuliffe, 7% for Rob Sarvis, the third-party Libertarian candidate. We're getting some more numbers now, 32%. 32% of the vote is now in, and Cuccinelli still ahead, 50 to 43%. He's up by 49,600 votes. The third-party Libertarian candidate, Robert Sarvis, still with 7%. But almost a third of the vote has now been counted in Virginia, and Ken Cuccinelli remains ahead in this race. So it's shaping up a lot closer than a lot of folks thought it would be. We're going to watch it throughout the night. Obviously, we're not ready to make any projection by any means. Anderson, getting closer to half the votes actually counted, Anderson. Take a look at this. 46% of the vote is now in Virginia. The Ken Cuccinelli, the Attorney General, with 49%. To Terry McAuliffe, the Democratic candidate, former chairman of the Democratic Party, with 44%. 55,000 vote advantage for Cuccinelli, the third-party Libertarian candidate, Robert Sarvis, with 7%. So it's a close race. We cannot make a projection in Virginia. As you say, we did make a projection in New Jersey. Take a look at this. 50%, almost 49% of the vote in Cuccinelli, still ahead by 50,000 votes or so, 49% to 44%. Sarvis, the third-party Libertarian candidate, still with 7%. A close race shaping up. Anderson in Virginia. Anderson, let's take a look. It looks like we're going to have to wait the old-fashioned way for results to actually come in Virginia. 61% of the vote has now been counted. The race getting closer and closer. Ken Cuccinelli, the Attorney General, with 48%. Terry McAuliffe, 45%. About a 40,000 vote difference right there. 7% for the third-party Libertarian candidate. But it's getting closer. 39% of the vote yet to be counted, John King. So this is a close race by all accounts, and we don't know the result. A close race appears in Virginia unfolding right now. The battle for governor in a state that plays a crucial role in deciding presidential elections. Let's update you on the vote tally as it's coming in right now. 48% for Ken Cuccinelli, the Republican, 45% for Terry McAuliffe, the Democrat, 7% for Robert Sarvis, the Libertarian third-party candidate. This with 76% of the votes tabulated, counted, 37 vote plus 37,000 vote advantage for Ken Cuccinelli right now as we stand. In New Jersey, as you know, CNN projects the Republican governor, Christie, easily winning a second term, a victory that positions him well for a possible run for the White House. And in New York City, the Democrat, Bill de Blasio, wins the mayor's race. We can now make that projection based on exit polls by Edison Research for New York media. De Blasio, by the way, will be the first Democrat to win the city in 2 decades. He'll succeed the independent mayor, Michael Bloomberg. Let's go to John King over at the Magic Wall. I just want to interrupt for a second. We're going to get right back to you. But look at this. 80% of the vote is in. Look at how close it is now. Only 22,000 votes. Cuccinelli slightly ahead of Terry McAuliffe, 47% to 46%, 7% for Sarvis, the Libertarian. This with 80% of the vote now in Virginia. Only 22,000 votes separates Cuccinelli from McAuliffe. And Piers, let me just update our viewers right now. Take a look. 81% of the vote is now in. It's very close. Only 21,000 vote difference between Ken Cuccinelli, the Republican, Terry McAuliffe, the Democrat, 47% to 46%. So this race, obviously close. Still got a ways to go. We're going to have to wait the old-fashioned way to see who wins. Piers, we're going to wait to see and count the actual votes. And by the minute, it's getting tighter and tighter as the actual votes come in. Piers, take a look at this. 84% of the vote in Virginia now in, and only 6,784 differential between the Republican Ken Cuccinelli and the Democrat Terry McAuliffe. 47 to 46%. A little while ago, there was a 20,000 vote difference. Earlier, there was a 40,000 vote difference. Now it's down to only 6,784 votes. A very, very close race right now. Still plenty of votes out there. We're going to figure out where those votes are outstanding. Let's take a look at some of the headquarters right now. You see in Virginia, that's McAuliffe headquarters in Northern Virginia. Christie headquarters in New Jersey. Waiting to hear from Christie. If Terry McAuliffe wins, we'll see what happens over there. Cuccinelli very much in this race right now. We're watching it closely. Take a look at that vote right now. If we take a look with 85% of the vote in, still close, 11,424 vote difference between Cuccinelli and McAuliffe, still 47% to 46%. Robert Sarvis, the Libertarian third-party candidate, with 7%. 15%, Piers, still remaining outstanding, and a lot of that 15%, the Northern Virginia counties that are right outside Washington, D.C. They're the populated areas of Virginia and largely Democratic. All right, Piers, it's getting closer and closer and closer. Only 3,355 votes separate Ken Cuccinelli from Terry McAuliffe. 47% to 46%, 87% of the vote is now in. It's getting closer and closer and closer. Take a look at what's going on in Virginia. We're going to keep counting these votes and see who's going to be the next governor of Virginia. Will it be the Republican Ken Cuccinelli or the Democrat Terry McAuliffe, who's a very, very close friend of the Clintons. Only 3,000, as I said, 3,355 votes separate these two candidates right now. It was more earlier. It's getting closer and closer. In New Jersey, we obviously projected that Christie will be reelected easily as the next New Jersey governor. He will stay in office. 41% of the actual vote is in. He's up by 20 points, 59 to 39%. 556,000 plus to 368,000. It's a landslide. You see the pictures over there at Christie headquarters in New Jersey over there. They're applauding right now. I think they're watching CNN. Let me wave to all of them. Hi guys, at Christie headquarters in New Jersey. Go ahead and keep applauding because I think you like our coverage. Let's hope you do. In fact, we're standing by to see what happens in New Jersey. Christie, at some point, he's going to speak. We'll have coverage, of course, of that when the New Jersey governor easily reelected to a second term. Piers, I'm going to come back to you in a second, but let me just show our viewers the votes right now. 88% of the vote in, under 3,000. A difference between Ken Cuccinelli and Terry McAuliffe. That is a tiny, tiny fraction right there. 880,000 for Cuccinelli, 877,000 for McAuliffe. This is a close race. 12% of the vote remaining outstanding, and a lot of that vote remaining in Northern Virginia, in Fairfax County. That's right outside of Washington, D.C. Piers? Look at this, and I must say, wow, it's getting really close. Only 386 votes. Ken Cuccinelli ahead of Terry McAuliffe, the Republican ahead of the Democrat by, well, it's just changed. Now it's almost 5,000. Oh, actually, Terry McAuliffe, excuse me. Terry McAuliffe has now taken the lead by nearly 5,000 votes. Look at this. It changed as we were speaking. 91% of the vote is in. Terry McAuliffe with 47%. Ken Cuccinelli with 46%. He's up. He's up by almost 5,000 votes with 9% of the vote remaining outstanding. Even as we were speaking, it has changed. You see what's going on right now in Virginia. John King, you were suggesting when the votes are counted in Fairfax County, Terry McAuliffe's going to do better. Let me take a look at the votes one more time before we go back to Piers. Take a look at this now. Once again, 91% of the vote now counted in Virginia. Terry McAuliffe, the former chairman of the Democratic Party, he's ahead by nearly 5,000 votes, 47% to 46%. Once again, Robert Sarvis, the third-party Libertarian candidate, he's got 7% of the vote. I think historians will look in Virginia, whatever the result is, and they'll say, what was the impact of Robert Sarvis on this race for the Virginia governor? 5,885 votes now. Terry McAuliffe ahead of Ken Cuccinelli. A very close race, Piers. It's not over yet. I think we have something that Terry McAuliffe supporters are going to be happy to hear. We are ready now, Piers, to make a projection. And CNN projects Terry McAuliffe has been elected, will be the next governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, the former chairman of the Democratic National Committee, the close pal of Bill and Hillary Clinton. He will be the next governor. We make that projection based on the vote tallies that are coming in. Let's take a quick look right now. Almost all of the votes have actually been counted, well over 90%. Terry McAuliffe is ahead by a significant number. He will beat Ken Cuccinelli, the Attorney General of Virginia, and will become the next governor of the state of Virginia. Terry McAuliffe wins a close race, closer than some people were suggesting. Let's take a look at the actual vote, John, then we'll discuss how Terry McAuliffe did it. Let's put it up on the screen right now. Terry McAuliffe, the winner. There he is. You see the projection that we just made with 96% of the votes now in. He's up by 17,120, 47% to 46%. Only 4% of the vote yet to be counted. John, how did he do it? We can also now report a winner in a battle between two Republicans in Alabama that's considered a big test of the Tea Party's clout and the struggle for the heart and soul of the GOP. It's a Republican congressional primary runoff. The establishment Republican candidate Bradley Byrne defeating the Tea Party allied candidate Dean Young. Let's take a look at the votes. 92% of the vote now in. We projected Bradley Byrne will win. He's got 54% to 46% for Dean Young. The winner of this runoff is widely expected to defeat the Democratic candidate in a special election next month. Now, some hot-button issues on the ballot out west. Voters are deciding whether to approve new taxes on marijuana in Colorado, where recreational use of the drug is legal. We have the votes coming in from Colorado right now on a tax on marijuana. 65% say yes, 35% say no. That's with 84% of the vote now in. Also in Colorado, in Weld County and some other rural counties, they're deciding whether to take steps to secede and create a 51st state. It's seen as a measure of public anger at the state's Democratic establishment. Take a look at the numbers right now. No ahead. Only 17% of the vote is in, 58% to 42%. But so far, no is the majority in Colorado to succeed. All right, Pierce, thank you. The governor's race in Virginia, as you say, certainly more suspenseful than expected. But in the end, the former Democratic Party chairman, Terry Mcauliffe, pulled it out, defeating Republican Ken Cuccinelli, who was embraced by the Tea Party movement. Let's take a close look at the vote. You see 48% for Mcauliffe, 45% for Cuccinelli, 7% for the third-party Libertarian candidate, Robert Sarvis. In the end, Mcauliffe will be the next governor of Virginia. In New Jersey, a big re-election win for the Republican incumbent governor, Christie. His acceptance speech tonight, possibly a warm-up for a 2016 presidential bid. In the end, a crushing win over Barbara Bono, 60% for Christie, 38% for her. An impressive win for Chris Christie. In New York City, Bill de Blasio will become the first Democratic mayor, get this, in 2 decades, taking over for the Republican-turned-independent Michael Bloomberg. Bill de Blasio will be the next mayor of New York. So lots of excitement, lots of political activity, and lots to think about in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Pierce?